what's really important is top management agenda. Okay, if they can say a lot of things, but what is really important is what are they doing? What kind of meetings they are attending? What kind of challenges they are interested? These are what people realize. Okay, if they attend this is important. Okay, if they are asking questions about this is important. So,
welcome to Secure and Simple podcast. In this podcast, we demystify cybersecurity governance, compliance with various standards and regulations, and other topics that are of interest for consultants, CISOs, and other cybersecurity professionals. Hello, I'm Dejan Kosutic, the CEO at Advisera and the host of Secure and Simple podcast. Today, my guest is Carlos Cruz, and he is the founder of a consulting company called Metanoia, based in Portugal. And he's also the main ISO 9001 and ISO 14001 expert in Advisera. He's in a consulting business for 35 years, so very, very long time already, and has performed, over 100 consulting jobs. And amongst other things, he has lots of experience with management reviews, because obviously he helped these companies perform management reviews as well. So in this podcast, you'll learn what are the best practices to perform a management review, not only for 9001, but also for ISO 27001, but also for other cybersecurity frameworks. And another thing is, we actually, this is our first year anniversary of our podcast. And actually the first guest on this podcast was exactly Carlos. So welcome back to Carlos, to this first year anniversary of this Secure Simple podcast.
Thank you for having me, Dan. Thank you for having me. Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here.
It was great to have you
pleasure
here.
to talk to you.
And,
yeah.
And actually, we already have had a couple of very good episodes around internal audit, document management, and now this management review will also be, I believe, very, very useful for our listeners. So when it comes to management review, my personal kind of feeling is that most companies do not really understand the purpose of management review. What do you think? What is your feeling?
I think too. I think that many companies see management review as a kind of taking a big picture of the past. Okay, making a report and that's it, and they present the report and that's it. It's like a gigantic photo, okay, because a lot of topics regarding the inputs for the management review. A gigantic photo of what was last year of the organization. And I think that the standard doesn't help, okay, because the standard invites that kind of behavior. But I think that a good management review should answer to that first topic. What are the conclusions regarding if the system is suitable, adequate, and effective? And after that, looking into the future. So, where do we want to go in the next 12 months? What resources do we need? What kind of improvements do we need to do? What kind of risks and opportunities during the next year? So I think I need that look into the future. Okay.
I agree with you. Go on.
When I do the webinars with Advisera for the management review, I like to use a metaphor. So I like to use the image of a Roman god. So Janus, the name, the month of January comes from Janus. And the Janus was a god with two heads. One old face looks into the past, and the young face looks into the future, because Janus was the god of gate, transitions, bridges. And that's the bridge between the past, then the present, so the context, what is happening today, and then looking to the future. And that part of looking into the future, I think sometimes I miss. I don't see that part in management reviews. Okay.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I mean, This, I would say, is one problem. I also see another problem that companies see this only as a kind of a compliance task that they have to tick, that they have done it, and they really don't use it in some useful way. So it's also, I would say, another problem.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's try to look at this as you described it. So looking at into the past, so what exactly should company look for in the past when doing a good management review, and what should they look towards the future?
So the standard, okay, ISO 27001 or 9001, so they are very prescriptive. Okay, so they list several topics, so like the management review inputs. So I like to use those inputs to take the picture of what was our behavior, the behavior of the management system, the performance of the management system. So that's one topic. And then, and based on that, we realize we have issues with our management system in terms of, so if most of our objectives are not achieved, we cannot say that the system was effective, okay? Or if there is a particular area of the management system that needs improvement. So, for example, if systematically people don't do corrective actions in a reasonable time, so perhaps we need to do something in terms of training, perhaps, or some kind of resources or whatever. It needs to be studied. So, using the input to make that to take that picture of the organization's performance, of the management system performance. It's a kind of using the raw data from the management system, then doing the analysis. Okay, so through trend analysis, so graphics, so some tools that we can use. Try to transform that raw data into insights, into meaningful, into meaning. So that top management can make decisions about the future of the organization, and the future was, as I told. So it's about need for improvement, need for changes, need for resources. Do we need to review our objectives? Do we need to review our policy? And not forgetting, so a formal conclusion about the suitability, adequacy, and effectiveness of the management system.
Okay. And why is it that then the senior management has to do the management review? Why isn't it, let's say, for ISO 27001, why doesn't the security officer do the management review, and rather it needs to be the senior management?
So I believe with 27001 is the same clause 5.1 about management commitment. So we are evaluating the performance of the management system, and we are we determine objectives for the future, and those objectives are to achieve or to improve performance or achieve new objectives will need resources. Okay. We'll need to make decisions regarding should we go this way or should we go that way, and without top management present, I would say that it's almost a waste of time, at least for some topics, because if they are not there, at some moment, the person that that now no one uses check, but the person that signs the check, needs to sign the check. And when they're going to sign the check, they say, what is this? What is this about? Okay. And if when you have the surveillance audits, okay, or certification audit, but surveillance audits, if the certification auditors realize that no one from the top management team could attend the management review, that's not a good sign. Okay, that's really not a good sign.
Yeah. Okay, but I mean, there is this reason of, okay, providing resources, why the senior management needs to be there. There is a compliance obligation from any of these ISO standards. They all require the senior management. Is there anything else that is actually crucial for senior management actually to do the management review?
Also, if they are not there, so this time of the year, okay, this time of the year is the time when companies normally do a kind of season's dinner, okay? The CEO or the owner of the company speaks about the next year will be like this, like that. Quality will be, or information security will be very important, very important. And people listen, okay, but people are more, they really don't care about what the top management says. What's really important is top management agenda, okay? If they can say a lot of things, but what is really important is what are they doing? What kind of meetings they are attending? What kind of challenges they are interested? These are what people realize. Okay, if they attend this is important. Okay, if they are asking questions about this is important. So if top management doesn't care about the management system in terms of I believe I would say that is the most important moment of the management system. Okay, throughout the year, the message is this is not relevant. Okay, this is just marketing. This is just propaganda. This is not really important. Okay.
What I agree with all that you're saying, and from my point of view, I think management review is also an occasion when companies or the senior management actually has to connect, this particular activity. I mean, let's say cybersecurity with their company strategy, right? Because cybersecurity doesn't exist for itself. I mean, it serves actually the company, the business size of the company. And actually management review is basically a place or a time when actually the senior management has to see if this cybersecurity really did contribute to the business size of the company. And if yes, how to improve it? If not, what to change, right? So I see management review as a crucial actually place and time. Actually,
that's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. At least in ISO 9001, so I mentioned suitability, adequacy, and effectiveness. So ISO 9001 mentions that and mentions a fourth one that we like me this way normally get is also the alignment with the strategic direction of the organization. Okay.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's what you're saying. Good point. Yeah.
Okay. Is this management review actually a meeting, or how do normally senior management needs to perform management review? Is this only through a meeting, or are there some other ways to do it?
It's like I like to say that management review is not just a meeting. Okay. Management review is a process. Okay. At some moment, I would say that most of the companies have a meeting. Okay. But, and that's my experience. Okay. But I understand that some companies may have, or a minority of companies may have another kind of approach that could to do the management review. Okay, but that's not my experience. Okay, my experience is, so I like to see the management review as a process. So at some moment, someone will prepare the information for the management review. After, this is what I'm going to say is how I like to work with companies. Okay, so some moment we'll have a preparation of the information for the management review. Then a second moment is to study that information. So participants, people that will attend the management review, should study that management review report. Let's call it like that. Okay. And then we have the meeting. And the meeting is a place for discussion, decisions, conclusions, not for presentations. Okay. Because if you see the people that attend that management review, normally, high level of the organization, they are very expensive. And just having a meeting just to present, people but they are just watching slides or something like, no, it's not a good way, not a good practice. So the meeting is for the meeting is for doing what we are good at when we are in a team working. So making decisions, discussing topics, different perspectives, making decisions, conclusions, that. And then we have the follow-up, okay? Where we have the meeting minutes, someone writes the meeting minutes, and then we have the action plans, and then we have the follow-up to check if if the actions are really implemented, and
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, makes sense. And who actually typically prepares all of these materials?
Normally, is in quality and environment, normally is a quality manager, okay, that collects information, not necessarily that he is the one that collects the raw data, but someone is responsible for monitoring some kind of information. Okay, that person provides the data, but is the one that, let's say, is responsible for preparing what I like to call a management review report. Okay, and this management review, there are two things that this person prepares for the management review meeting. Prepares the agenda, the agenda of the meeting, and the management review meeting. Oh, sorry, and the management review report. Okay, and why is this important? I don't know if I'm going to jump right away, but I like to stress to organizations to see that when we have clause 9.3.2 about the management review inputs, the standard ISO 27001, ISO 9001, 14001, all standards, they use the word there. The word is consider or consideration. Okay, and it's like this. We cannot have a lot of time from top management to that management review meeting. They don't have time. Okay. So if we intend to have a meeting or 3 hours or 4 hours or one morning, they will say, no, never. So what we do is, or what I like to advise companies to do is that management review report includes all the topics in the standard, all the inputs that the standard mentions. Everything is there. Okay. But then in the meeting, in the agenda, the topics there are only those topics that need a decision. So if we have a topic is corrective actions and everything is okay, so we put in the report how many corrective actions, if they are closed, not closed, if they were effective, so and so and so. And everything is going smoothly, no problem. So in the agenda, we don't need to use any time for that because there's no need for a decision. And so the meeting is for those topics that need a decision. Okay? That's how I like to do it. Okay?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in 27001 in cybersecurity, it's usually security officer that prepares these materials. And and from the senior management, who should typically participate? Is it the whole senior management team or only some people from senior management?
It's not the whole management team, okay? But at least one member of the top management team. So normally is the person that signs the policy. Okay, so there's one member of the management team, the top management team, that has the responsibility for the management system, and so that person is it's the person that we expect that attends the management review. Okay.
Yeah, actually, my preference is that the whole senior management participates in this. And the reason is actually, if we make a connection between cybersecurity and the company strategy, then this concerns not only the, let's say, chief technology officer or chief information officer, it also considers the CEO, the CFO, chief financial officer, operations officer. So basically, all of these people are then here to discuss the strategy of the company, which is then underpinned through cybersecurity.
Yeah, that's a good point. When we can do it, better. It's a better.
Yeah. If the senior management wants to do, as you point out very well.
Yeah.
So how do you actually stimulate the senior management to actually see the value of this management review and to participate willingly and to see some benefit out there?
So with that kind of preparation that I mentioned about just focusing on the decisions, and avoiding presentations. So it's a kind of a message that it's not to be, they are not there just to listen. Okay. They are there to decide. Okay. And they are there. So, and it's much more alive, the meeting, because we avoid the maximum of presentations. It's just decisions. Okay. Do we have this issue? So we have this issue. We have we need to arrive at the decisions regarding this, and so it's more alive. And then I had that experience when I was a young chemical engineer, quality manager at a chemical company. I was in a very good company in terms of I could say whatever. Okay, I was a very free company to speak about. And I remember I was always making my reports, my monthly reports, saying that we had problems with quality. But when the general manager went to the warehouse, he saw everything. We sold everything, okay? Because the product we could sell the product at top grade. We could sell the product at low grade, even off grade. Even the product that fell into the floor, we could clean the floor, and that product could be used to make carpets for buses. And this was in the end of the 80s, the beginning of the 90s. So when the top management, or the general manager, was going to the warehouse, no product was there, and he said, "Oh, Carlos is always exaggerating, so he's very young." So, and one day I translated that into, instead of mentioning off grades and so, I translated that into numbers, okay, into money, okay. So I said, we sell 100 tons of the product. If all the product was top grade, okay, what was the average price of the year for top grade? And they say, okay, 10, okay, 100 times 10, 1,000. What were our sales? Okay, for example, 820. Where are the other 180? Okay, because of low quality problems. And I remember, that gentleman is already dead, but I remember he read the numbers and said to me, "Carlos, you never told me this to me." And I said, my eyes were, I'm always paying this to you, but not this language, not with this language. And it is, let me say, using the language of quality, is the quality manager responsibility to make this translation. Or in the information security world will be the same. So translate this into a language that management can understand. Okay,
into numbers,
they can
into
relate.
finance.
Finance, lost customers, lost business, something that they can relate, not just just being nice.
No, it's a very good point. And from your opinion, how often should this management review be performed? I mean, it should be at least once a year, but it's probably not often enough, right? So what is your kind of the optimal cadence of doing the management reviews?
Many companies do it once per year, and I don't think that's reasonable, okay? That's not good governance. That's wishful thinking, okay? So what I recommend organizations is to have one, let's say, extraordinary management review where we, for example, decide, is our policy, okay, still valid, still updated? What will be our management management system objectives for the future, and then have quarterly meetings just for follow up. And when we do that, particularly with big companies, when we have big companies, it's a fantastic workload to do everything in just one meeting. That person responsible for doing that is, it's too much work. Okay.
Yeah.
And so we can, when we have more than one management review per year, we can spread the topics throughout the year. Of course, some topics can be, we can speak about, or we can speak about some topics in all meetings because they are very important. But other topics we can only see once per year. For example, about management system, internal audits. Okay. We see that in one meeting. Don't need to check all the meetings, but I like to do that because the management review is, we use the information from the past. So we are looking into the rear view mirror. Okay. And just only once per year,
Doesn't sound right. No.
That doesn't sound right. Yeah. It doesn't sound right. Yeah.
Actually, for ISO 27001, I recommend companies to do this once a month, right? It's kind of, especially because cybersecurity is really a fast-moving discipline, right? And once a month is I would say much more appropriate. And do you think that this management review should be, let's say, kind of a separate meeting just for that purpose, or could it be, let's say, one of the topics at a regular meetings of the senior management?
Whenever possible, I would like to include the management review in the normal way that the organization works. Okay. Some companies say to me that yes, we will include that in our normal management review. Okay, it's not necessarily about the standard, but we will have a separate minutes because they have issues regarding confidentiality and we don't want auditors to see some things, and so but the good practice is part of the way the organization is managed. So
No, I fully agree with you. I mean, the more you can actually make it as part of their regular normal activities, the more they will see this as something valuable, and the more actually it will, the management system will really be kind of integrated into everything that the company is doing. Yeah, so I fully agree with you. And you mentioned that in the beginning of our discussion today that there is this, let's say, looking into the past part, but there is also this looking into the future. So what exactly is this part of looking into the future when it comes to management review?
So it's about, let's look into the definition of management system. Okay. The definition of management system, and let me tell something like this. For me, it's so beautiful. Okay, but it's really beautiful. It's not just Baba talking me. No, management system is a system to establish a policy. That means to establish a direction, a strategy. Okay, translate that into objectives. Because if we don't do that, it's just blah blah blah. Okay, well intended, but just blah blah blah, and then work to achieve those objectives. So a management system is like something that is pulling us into the future. Okay. So where do we want to be in 12 months time regarding our management system, our quality, our environment, our information security, health and safety, whatever. So it's not reacting to what is happening. Okay. But sometimes we need to react because the context changes very, you mentioned for information security, the context changes sometimes very drastically, but it's mostly we want to be driving the bus, not a passenger in the seat of the bus. Okay, so want to drive the bus, and driving the bus is driving us into the future. That's how looking to the future. Where do we want to be in the future? So
Okay.
that's
So are you saying that during the management review, the senior managers should, let's say, set new strategic not only strategic objectives, but also objectives for the management system? Is this one of the key tasks?
they should review the current objectives, okay, and check if they need to be updated, if they need to be reviewed, okay. I said before that many companies use the management review just to take a picture of the past, and I said that I believe that in part that's an issue because of the way the standard is somehow invites to have that feeling or that way of doing things. Even about the objectives, I mentioned, I'm imagining remembering the wording of the ISO 9001 9.3 clause, and the topic about the objective is very, very foggy. Okay, but for me, it's the right moment to think about the future of the management system, and so should we? We don't need to improve everything, but okay, what are the priorities for improvement? And those priorities for improvement are translated into objectives for the management system.
And in order for senior management to drive the company forward in these management reviews, is it enough for them to set these objectives or review these objectives, or is there anything else needed beyond these objectives?
So, to establish these objectives, okay, we need to be they need to be grounded, okay, and they need to be grounded, not just illusions, okay, just thinking about dreams, okay, just dreams. No, so they need to understand the context of the organization. Okay, so and when we set objectives, okay, so setting objectives, it requires that we should change something in our system, okay? Because it's if we do the same thing, most likely we'll get the same results, okay? Or even due to due to entropy, okay, things will get worse. But so if we set a new objective, that means that we need to make something different. And so that means that some kind of investment in resources, training people, investing in hardware, investing in know-how, something. So top management then should provide the resources for that. Okay, and then somehow monitor also if the actions, the plans are implemented, and if they are effective. Okay.
Good. And how do you actually know if management review was really effective?
How do I know if management review was effective? So when I'm auditing an organization, I read that management review report. I read what were the conclusions, and I look into the current performance of the organization and see if they match. Okay, so for example, in my last audit, the organization had a very bad performance. Okay, very bad performance. But in the report, they were in the management review minutes, they were not preoccupied with that. Okay, and then when I was interviewing the top manager, I understood why. Okay, because They had a lot of projects. The way they calculate the indicators regarding sales, and so it's only when the project is finished that they they include the value of the sales in the sales indicator. So they realize, okay. So what I wrote an opportunity for improvement, that they should document this kind of um, they should document the their reading about the indicators. Okay. So that's how I do it. So I look into what they wrote in the report, what they wrote in the minutes, and I look into current performance. So and I see if they say, for example, this one is typical. They say that the management system is effective, and I see that most of the objectives are not achieved. Okay. Say, oh, come on! You cannot say that your management, your management system is effective. Okay, you cannot say that. So, um, also, we also so if I hmm, this is tricky because it's their management review, not mine.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I'm an outsider. I'm an auditor, but I'm an outsider, and it's for them to set priorities. Okay, but I see something that that I think it's important. They didn't care. They didn't take any measures regarding that. Okay, and then I look now when I'm checking the performance. If it's only my opinion, I can, as I try to be a good auditor, I cannot say nothing. But if I link that into customers lost, customers complained, customers not so unsatisfied with that, now I can make the connection. Okay, because it's not my opinion, it's customer's opinion. Okay, and saying that, okay, and yeah.
Yeah, so basically the I would say success of a management system is kind of a reflection of the thoroughness of the management review.
Yeah. And sometimes we realize that people pretend, okay, that the system is fine when they know it isn't. Okay. And I tell them, okay, when you in the management review say that the system is not okay, that's not a non-conformity that the certification auditors or whatever will write about that. No, that's a good sign when we realize that our system has some weakness, and we say that in our minutes, and then we work to solve, to improve. What more can an auditor expect? They say, "Oh, nice, fantastic! They are being honest with themselves, and they are doing something to improve." Okay.
Definitely. And looking this from another angle, so why management reviews go wrong? I mean, when they go wrong, why do they go wrong?
There's one of the first management reviews that I attended. So I help an organization to implement their management system. I like to work with them. It was 1996 or 1997. So one of the first jobs that I did. We had a fantastic, they invite me, they were already certified, and they invite me to participate in their management review. And I still remember the feeling of, wow, what a meeting. Fantastic meeting. Really, really great meeting. And then 1 year later, they invite me again. And it was a nightmare because there was no follow-up. So very good decisions made in that meeting. And then there was no one implemented. No one was responsible, or the person responsible had no resources to implement. So one of the things that I think that makes management reviews derail is the after. Okay, so the follow up, okay, providing the resources and the follow-up of the management review. Okay, so so if after when a management review ends, if there isn't anyone with something to do, whoa, we have a problem. Okay, so
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. So this follow up is almost as important as the decisions that are made in the management review. Yeah.
Mhm.
If not even more important.
or if not even more important. Yeah.
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 Definitely.
Because
Okay. Now.
yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm. No, just when we are implementing those decisions, we are also kind of discovering reality. Okay, and sometimes we find things that or interesting things, opportunities. Okay, and it's a growing opportunity for the management system. So yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, exactly because of this implementation. I mean, implementation never goes perfectly, right? It's
Yeah.
almost impossible to do everything exactly as you planned for. So,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
because of this, I would say facing the reality. This is why I think that the management review should be more often, not once a year. It should
Yeah.
be, let's say, once a month, because
Okay.
then actually the management can be updated, on how these decisions
Yeah.
were, going on in the reality now. So it's
Yeah.
kind of tied to one thing to another.
Yeah, the only recommendations when doing very or more frequent, so once per month management reviews, should be to be careful to really stand back, okay,
Uh-huh.
and try to see the big picture, because it's much more easy to just follow the flow, okay, just follow the numbers, and don't and not standing back and looking into the big picture. Okay. Yeah.
Definitely. Okay, let's now switch gears a little bit and try to view this from the consultant point of view. So, what basically is a typical role of a consultant when it comes to management review in a company?
Mhm. So provides, okay, helps the organization develop the templates, okay, or the topics, then provide some what I think good practices regarding the preparation and the development of the management review, and normally, okay, while before the implementation of the management system, so also attends the management review, and supports the person that is responsible for leading the management review. Okay, we say that top management should lead the management review, but sometimes, okay, they need the help of the person responsible for the management system, and okay, so we as consultants provide that support, preparing the information, providing some tools, like for example, um, I like to use statistical process control for looking into the indicators. So for individual values, I like to invite people. I stress a lot. Okay, tables are very important because they're precise data, but tables are annexes. Okay, so in the report for the management review, use graphs. Okay, use that show the trends much more easily, and so this kind of thing. So things like when preparing the agenda, one of the things that I learned some years ago with in a management magazine, to use questions instead of just topics. Okay, so we may say, for example, in quality, we have one topic is customer satisfaction, and we can put in the agenda customer satisfaction, and people that read the agenda say customer satisfaction. What does they want us to speak about customer satisfaction? But another thing is when we put there something, why is customer satisfaction of these particular kind of customers going down? So now we are focusing the attention of people for a particular thing.
Yeah.
So people come more prepared too. Okay. And instead of coming into the meeting saying, let's wait, what they have to say or what do they want about customer satisfaction. So, yeah. So
It's a
things
very
like
good
that.
point to kind of get the interest up front and the focus, so to say. Yeah.
Or, for example, the most important topics should be the first topics in the agenda, okay? Because we have the time, and so last week I had an experience in a meeting, not in a company, but in a public organization. And the first part of the meeting, so people are fresh, their minds are fresh. And the first part of the meeting is for discussing trivial things that are not in the agenda. So it's like what they call before the agenda time. And they can waste there about 1 hour. Joel, come on, 1 hour with this. And this is the most, people are fresh, people with their minds are in full, prepared for, and no. So another thing so the most relevant topics first. Okay. So that's another thing. And, and the topic of don't present data in the meeting. Okay. The meeting is for the decision. So we prepare the report and people receive the report. If they have questions, yes, okay, they can phone, they can ask for a meeting. We can, but no presentations. And that makes the meeting much more efficient. Much more efficient. Yeah.
It's a very good tip. Yeah. And should consultants actually prepare these materials for the management review, and should consultants participate in the management review?
I like to prepare the people, so the management system responsible. I like to prepare that person to do this job. Okay. When I was a young consultant, I liked to do that. I wanted to do everything. Okay. But now I don't think that's the best approach. Okay. Because people don't learn. Okay. So much. So now I like to help them prepare things.
Help them learn how to do it, right?
Help them learn how to do it. I can show them one example of how, presenting a case study, how can be done, but, and then they help them do it. And also, the other part of the question was, so I like to participate when I'm a consultant working in implementation of the management system. I like to participate. And normally, I think that all organizations that I helped implement their management system invite me or expect that I attend the management review. Some even, not all years, but from time to time, they invite me to attend their management reviews.
Why? What is then the role of the consultant if there is already a manager in charge of the management system? If there is already a senior manager?
So
why
they want an outside view to see not about their decisions, but about the way the topics are discussed, what kind of topics are being discussed, if something is missing in the discussion, because I can see the report, okay, and I see that I may see the important topic is not being considered. Or, for example, that sometimes they are wasting a lot of time in something because at some point people start, instead of going for a decision, people start defending themselves. Okay. And I can say sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's not so easy, but I can say, oh, come on, I think we can go for a decision. Okay. We are not here to blame, people. We are here. The problem is, I remember that phrase from Deming, okay? Don't blame the person, blame the system. So it's the system, not the person. So can we move? Can we move
Yeah,
to
yeah.
do a final decision? So that's something that I can do. Yeah.
Okay, it's very good. Now, most of these ISO standards, like 27001, 9001, 14001, more or less, they have very, very similar requirements for management review, in terms of, inputs and outputs, all kinds of things. So do you think that, is it actually a good practice to, let's say the company has 3 standards altogether, let's say these 3. Should it do actually the management review for all of those standards in one meeting, or should they actually have separate meetings for each management system?
Now, I think that a sign of a mature management system is to have this integrated management review. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, many topics are common. Okay. Many topics are common. Um, um, and so they can be presented. So like, for example, internal audits. So they can be presented in the same in the same at the same time. And then there are some specific topics of each standard. They have a specific time, a different time for them. But I think that a sign of a mature management system is to have that integrated. Okay, so I understand that. So you have an ISO 9001 and ISO 14001 management system already implemented, and now you are implementing ISO 27001. So I understand, and I think it's useful, perhaps. Okay, I think it's useful to have the first management review just focused on ISO 27001 topics. Okay,
Yeah.
but then as soon as we are certified, okay, now let's move to an integrated management review. Yeah.
Yeah. Makes sense. Yeah. Especially with the maturity thing. Yeah. Okay. Very good.
And also we may have different people participating in the meeting at different times. So we don't need to have all the people at the same time in the meeting. So this part of the meeting, okay, it's the same meeting. Some topics are common, but this is one is specific or something about environmental management system or health and safety. Okay, so we don't need health and safety people in the other topics. Okay, during that time they are there. So, okay, they can join the meeting and leave the meeting when they are no longer needed for a decision. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Makes sense. Okay. So let's wrap up the discussion. And what would you say are kind of top things that companies should, keep in mind when doing this management review?
Keep in mind, don't focus in the past. Okay. So use the past as a kind of a lever to go into the future. Okay. Don't present raw data in the management review. Okay. So they used to say, don't drown top management in raw data. No. That's the topic. So the standard is measuring, monitoring, and then analysis, evaluation. Analysis is translating that raw data into meaning, into insights, presenting that. So yeah, that transformation of raw data into insights is critical, I believe. Having the right minds, to arrive at the right decisions, okay, in the management review, and also include there someone from top management, okay. What more? Use the management review for decisions, not for presentations, okay. Don't forget at the end that conclusion about if the system is suitable, adequate, and effective. I, as an auditor, when I don't see that, for me, it's a non-conformity. So be careful with that. And please include in the outputs, okay, those decisions about what needs to be improved, what needs to be changed, what are the new objectives, if we need to change objectives, or if we need to change the policy, any relevant risks and opportunities that we need to consider for the future. So I like to see that. Okay. I like to, it's looking into the future. Yeah, it's looking into the future.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Great. Thanks. These were really great insights, and I learned a lot today again from you. So thanks again, Carlos.
Thank you very much for inviting me to this podcast. Okay.
Yeah. Thanks again, and I hope that we will have another discussion, maybe on a second anniversary or maybe a third anniversary of Security Simple podcast.
Yeah.
Thanks again, Carlos, and thank you everyone for listening or watching this podcast, and see you again in 2 weeks' time in our new episode of Secure and Simple podcast. Thanks for making it this far in today's episode of Secure and Simple podcast. Here's some useful info for consultants and other professionals who do cybersecurity governance and compliance for a living. On Advisera website, you can check out various tools that can help your business. For example, Conformia software enables you to streamline and scale ISO 27001 implementation and maintenance for your clients. White label documentation toolkits for NIS2, DORA, ISO 27001 and other ISO standards enable you to create all the required documents for your clients. Accredited lead auditor and lead implementer courses for various standards and frameworks enable you to show your expertise to potential clients. And a learning management system called Company Training Academy with numerous videos for NIS2, DORA, ISO 27001 and other frameworks enable you to organize training and awareness programs for your clients' workforce. Check out the links in the description below for more information. If you like this podcast, please give it a thumbs up. It helps us with better ranking, and I would also appreciate if you share it with your colleagues. That's it for today. Stay safe.